Okay, let's see. I have a script, and let's see what's on the list. Opening sequence. I don't think we should do this. Screw it! Let's just roll with it. Hey everyone, Maria here, aka Smidge. We're gonna go ahead and do my first ever video with a microphone now. Yay! So this way I'll be able to do proper tutorials. Since I went ahead and did an eyes video on my last channel, which was absolutely horrifying, and I never want to think about it ever again, I decided that I'm gonna do another tutorial on how to do eyes, but this time properly and with a microphone so I can take you step by step. Okay, so just take any type of brushes you have, and this will apply also as well until we get to the coloring part, at least for drawing traditionally or digitally on a laptop or tablet or whatever. And I'm sorry if you can hear the little clicks every time I zoom in and out on my laptop, because this thing picks up noise really nice, especially since I don't have a filter on it. But anywho, let's go ahead and get started. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take your pen or pencil or whatever, and you want to do a pre-sketch. I like to do mine with pencil or light blue color pencils whenever I'm doing it, just paper and pencil. And I just go ahead and start doing the curves. Just basically like a little outline of how I want the eye shape to be, and maybe where the eyeball placement will be as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And there is gonna be times where I'm gonna speed this up through the video, so that way you guys aren't just sitting there in anticipation, just waiting for me to finish doing what I'm doing, even though you've already finished it probably before I have. So you go ahead and do that. And also, FYI, if you can't draw or anything, you can just draw one eye. And then you can take it, press Control C, and then you can go ahead and create a new layer and just take it, Control V, and then you'll have two copies of the same eye, and you can just flip it. Oh, isn't that magical? You could just do that instead. That's in case anyone didn't know that. Okay, so let's keep going. I like this one better, so I'm gonna keep this eye instead. Okay, let's move on to step 2. The next step for this is you want to take a pen and just jump right in. Just don't be scared of it. If you show any fear, the paper will sense it and you'll never be able to do it ever again. So just go ahead. For the digital people, you can work on one eye and then do Control C and then Control V on the opposite side. But if it's not going to work the same for angled faces, like if you have it tilt a little bit to the left or right. So I'll do that in another video. But just go ahead and start outlining however you want. And here we go. Okay, finally, there we go. Sorry if that took a while, but now we have the shape of our eye and how we want it. And just saying this out loud for everyone, no one gets this perfect in the first shot, especially digitally, because it is very difficult. Es muy difícil. That's for all my Spanish speakers out there. Okay, so what we're going to do after this is we're going to go ahead and do the shape of the eye. And since I don't know how to work all the functions on Sai yet, even though I've had this for a really long time, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new layer. And I'm just going to choose a nice color of my picking. And I'm going to go ahead and draw the circle now. Okay, now that we have our almost correct circle, if you're doing this digitally, you can do Control T, and you can go ahead and hit free deform, and you can just fix it to your oh so desired form. In case it's a little bit wonky, that's what I like to do. And then you can just go back to regular transform and shift while you move it to get it to the right size. And make sure, and I cannot say this enough, that the eye, the I forgot what it's called. The colored part of the eye is underneath the layer where the eyelashes are, because that will mess you up when you start coloring in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and merge these two and hide this. And then I'm going to layer and... Oh. Wait, how do you copy this? Oh my god, I forgot how to do it. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong layer. Puh. That was stupid. Okay, then I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go ahead and Control T and flip horizontally. And there we go. We got our other eye. And obviously that's not going to happen for the guys doing this traditionally. But just practice. Practice makes perfect. I can never stress that enough. And we're going to go ahead and just get rid of the trace layer underneath where we went ahead and did it. And we're going to do a new layer, make it underneath. And we're going to take the color that we did for the eye and just kind of choose something a little bit lighter. And for the people who are doing this traditionally, I recommend the markers that you should use are either Copics, but if you don't have money to burn, I recommend using concepts which are just as good but cheaper. Or if you want something that lasts longer but is nice as well, Faber-Castell markers are superb. I love them, absolutely adore them. So we're going to go ahead and take whatever color, as long as it's lighter than the color you're using for the outline, to go ahead and fill it in. And for the people that are at home doing this digitally as well, you can do Control F, I think. No? Okay, no, we're not going to do that. How about we use the wand instead and just do that, and then go ahead and invert it. There we go. And then we're just going to go ahead and fill that into the best of our possibilities. And obviously it goofed it up here and filled out everything else, but we can just erase that since it's a layer underneath it. But it does kind of look cool, so I think I will keep a little bit of the blue in it. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to create another layer for the people that are doing this digitally, and then you're going to hit clipping group. Every single program should have this tool. If not, then get yourself a better program. For the people that use Psy, you can go ahead and mess with the hue and the saturation here and make it lighter or darker if it comes out a little bit not to your liking, or if you think it should be a little bit darker. And since we have clipping group, we can go ahead and just go. I have it on eraser. You can go ahead and just go over it like this, as so, and fill it in. For the people that are doing this with markers, just go ahead and create an arch just like this and fill it in where the circle is, and just leave it like that. And what you can do is you can get a colorless blender if you have colored pencils, and you can go ahead and blend it in just like we're about to with the blur tool. If you do not have a blur tool, I cannot stress this enough, get yourself a better program. Or we're going to go ahead and do watercolor instead, since it blends really nice. Everyone's settings are different for brushes. I recommend going out and making your own, or explore and find some fabulous artist that will be kind enough to give you those settings. My settings, I don't think anyone wants to use them. But if you would like to do so, go ahead, just chat me up or whatever. And we're just going to go ahead and make a arch all the way around and leave a hollow circle from the color underneath the base. Just like that. And remember, this is going to be on a different layer. This is going to be on the clipping layer. And what we're going to go ahead and do now is get the color almost identical to the outline, so we can get the nice shadowy part of the eye and just do that on top. So that way it just kind of blends, because every single eye has shading, especially when you're looking at it from a different angle. Obviously it'll change like with lighting and whatnot, but with this it'll look nice. There we go. That's looking nice. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and do the... I really need to study up on my eyes and whatnot. We're going to do the... I know people are going to get mad at me for not knowing it. Cornea, I think. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and do it here in the center. But we're going to not do it in black. We're going to do it in a dark shade. The darkest shade you can of the color you selected. And just go ahead and do it on top. And then for the next part, okay, so I personally, whenever I want to do highlights on people's eyes on my drawings, for traditional drawing or color and marker kind of drawings, I just went to Hobby Lobby and I got a thin, it's not a paintbrush, but it's kind of like a whiteout pencil. You should be able to find it at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. They're really cheap. They're like $5 a pop. You can probably find cheaper online, like on Amazon. But yeah, you can just go ahead and use that to do the highlights on top of the eye afterwards, because that way you can really place it wherever you really want to. So what we're going to do for the digital people is we're going to go up to our top layer and just go over it. And we're going to go ahead and just put a couple of highlights wherever you want of a lighter version of your color, the lightest you can. And then I'm going to make another one just because I like to mess around with the opacity. But I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple here and a big one right here. Borderlining on kind of like getting rid of it as well. And there you go, you have your eyes. I'm going to go a little bit more detail on what to do. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the eyelashes, and I'm going to create another layer and clip it because I just love doing that. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take a color. I'm going to take this nice shade of bluish purple, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over it like this. Just kind of give it a little kick to it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blur it. Obviously, you can't do this with markers. The only way you can is whenever you're outlining and doing the final touch. When you're starting to ink it, is I recommend doing it with color pencil instead and getting a colorless blender like I said before and using that instead. And now I'm just going to mess around with the mode on here, and I think I'm just going to go with luminosity, and I'm going to go ahead and play around with the hue a little bit. There we go, that's nice. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, if you want to go ahead and do skin underneath it for digital people, I recommend prior to doing the coloring and whatnot, you make another layer or make another folder, like entirely all together, and just go ahead and just put all the skin tones under here. And just get a pencil or a paintbrush or a bucket, get the skin tone you want, and just start doing it underneath. Just like this. You do it all the way around. Make sure to get in all those nice spots. And once you do that, you can go ahead and... Actually, let me go ahead and finish this. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for now for the skin tone. But I will do a tutorial on doing skin tones and hair coloring and whatnot and go more into advanced. But I'm going to make another layer underneath this, and I'm going to get kind of like a grayish blue. And I'm going to paint, actually I'm going to put that under the skin layer. And I'm going to go ahead and do shading for the eye. And I'm going to take my blur tool, and I'm just going to kind of blend it into the white to give it that nice kind of shadow and give it some kind of anime realism. And there you go, you've got your eyes. And for the people who are doing this traditionally, obviously you want to do the skin last whenever you're drawing something, because that way it doesn't get into the ink when it's fresh. That way it doesn't bleed into it and it comes out looking really nice and crisp. Okay, so that's it for today's tutorial. Hopefully I will do another one of these, but better, and maybe with a script this time. Go ahead and comment below what you think I should do next for the next tutorial or speed drawing, and I'll go ahead and choose one, and see you guys next time. Bye!